It was not the meeting Greg Hill expected.
I go into it cold, not expecting anything like that. Actually anticipating a discussion I've been trying to have for a long time, trying to understand how we're working together in the Department of Indigenous Ways and Decolonization, and I was actually a little bit happy to be able to get into this, but it didn't go that way.
The Indigenous art curator said within a few minutes he had been told to return his cell phone and his email account would soon be disabled. He had effectively been fired and his unionized position made redundant. And Hill says none of it added up.
Like our department is still critically understaffed. It just does not make sense how one could be declared surplus in those kinds of circumstances.
Stephen Loft is the new vice president of the Department of Indigenous Ways and Decolonization, which was created earlier this year. He confirms Hill's position has been eliminated, but says there are more than enough staff on hand to pick up the slack.
It's the opposite. We have, as I said, we actually have more people more Indigenous people working at the gallery than we've ever had in the past. And there's going to be more, because not just curatorial expertise, which is, as I say, we have, but also policy, strategy, community engagement, and relationship building.
The staff layoffs and Hill's public concerns are creating waves in the arts community, and accusations have been flying in media that the gallery has become a toxic work environment in recent months, where staff are afraid to raise concerns out of fear of reprisal. But Loft says this is not the case.
We're having great conversations with our staff and making sure that they understand the direction the gallery is going, but also that we're creating the kind of space where they feel their voices are upheld and uplifted.
The National Gallery is a Crown corporation overseen by the Department of Heritage, and Minister Pablo Rodriguez has sent a letter to the Board of Trustees seeking answers. APTN asked for a copy of the letter, but neither the government nor gallery were willing to comply. But NDP MP Peter Julian says with all the funding the gallery receives, the Trudeau government needs to be asking some tough questions.
What is the process that the National Gallery of Canada is going through for decolonization? What is the process that is happening for ensuring that Indigenous artists have the place that they should have at the National Gallery? All of that is very unclear, and so that oversight and the funding coming from the federal government means that those questions need to be asked and answers need to be given.
For his part, Hill says he will continue to ask questions about where the gallery is headed.
How are we decolonizing? What is meant by Indigenous ways? How are we even going to define and work with that?
Fraser Needham, APTN National News, Ottawa.